Sauce has gotten better. I mean, he has an interception already. And to me, he's been the shutdown corner. I mean, how many corners have been better than him this year? Maybe 2? Maybe he's been better than Jalen Ramsey.
Well, Darius Slay's been on fire.
Oh yeah. He's been fantastic.
That's probably been the best corner in the league.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
In terms of rookies, it's between him and Derek Stingley at this point.
And I honestly, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Jet fan, he's been better than Stingley. He has been, and I like Stingley. And I like what they've seen with the Texans. The Texans have played hard in every single game. So, and they've been fun to watch too. But it's funny to say because I was reading something. There was an article that came out today. Wouldn't it be crazy that the offensive and defensive rookies of the year came off the same team? And a lot of people say right now, if the season were to end, Sauce Gardner is defensive rookie of the year, and Breece Hall right now, especially the last 3 games and the average, right now he's the first rookie Jet to have back-to-back 100-yard games, and he's been. It's not even just.
He has maybe 25 carries between those 2 games.
I know. I know. It's crazy. He's not even touching the ball 30 times, and he's doing those. He's getting those numbers. That just shows you the dominant force that he could be. So, if you look at that could really stand out too when you're voting. You
were mentioning the interceptions too. That kid Woolen on Seattle already has 4 as well.
Yeah,
so he's getting up there.
He's been shocking. I didn't think he was anywhere near ready to play at a starter level, but he's. That's that dude. Wow. Yeah, he
has 4 interceptions as a rookie, but he's also given up like 3-4 touchdowns. So yeah,
I'm telling you, man, the voters don't look at that.
Yeah,
they don't have PFF.
That's why I always say there should be a shutdown corner.
Really,
award.
You have to look at those numbers. If you're not scoring any touchdowns against that corner, that's dominant. That is dominant. When top quarterbacks aren't throwing your way because they're afraid to throw your way, you have to look at that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's just people cover football that don't understand football.
We'll tell them they're idiots.
There's a lot of them. I'm not going to say any names, but there's a lot of them.
That's why there should be a shutdown corner award, different from the defensive player of the year.
Shutdown corner, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, there are games like if you watched the Bengals game, they didn't. Every time he was throwing it his way, when he was throwing Higgins around. You know what I mean? And by the way, Jamar Chase, he defended Jamar Chase in almost that whole game. Jamar Chase had 36 yards in that game. 36. Yeah. And Gardner was taking him practically the whole game. What does that tell you? You have one of the best wide receivers in all of football. He was the best wide receiver in football last year, and offensive player of the year, and he shut him down. So that speaks louder than words and numbers. So I agree with you. It's all about the numbers, but you can't sit here and tell me, honestly, that if you're not throwing his way, you're not going to give him credit for what he's doing. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the other issue with PFF and their cornerback grades in particular is it doesn't take into account, plays where they're not targeted. I think this came up this past week because Pat Surtain wasn't a top 5 player on
which is ridiculous
PFF grades. Yeah, because he was absolutely dominant in that game, and they wouldn't even throw it his way. But
to me,
that was the thing was they don't grade that stuff. PFF or any of these type of different analytical sites, and that's what stinks.
Pat Surtain played so well that Monday night game against Mike Williams. He gave me a scare because I thought I had an easy win for our fantasy league against his friend because I had Jalen Hurts and Mike Williams. I thought it would be going to be easy, and it took the last catch of overtime for me to win.
Yeah,
because Pat Surtain played so well in that game against
Patrick Surtain has given up no touchdowns this year. And he's played against some of the elite wide receivers.
I feel like he only gave up 1 or 2 last year, and one of them was an insane catch by Devontae Smith.
Yeah, he's fantastic. By the way, he really is. Honestly, him, Slay. I think those are the 2 guys. And by the way, and the Jets, their 2 best corners only given up 1 touchdown in 6 games. That's ridiculous. It's the safeties that have been crap for the Jets. But they've gotten better last 2 weeks. Joyner has 3 interceptions, and Whitehead has 1. So maybe they're figuring things out. If that defense, if that secondary all around figures things out, it's scary how good the Jets defense could be all season long.
You're seeing how important it is to have height at the safety position, because I think LaMarcus Joyner's 5'6", so he's like my size.
Yeah, he's better as a slot corner, and I always said that
or in a
roving
safety.
Yeah,
that's where he needs to be.
He was best even with the Rams. He was the best as a slot corner. When they moved him to safety, Jeff Fisher's last year, and then Wade Phillips too, moved him to safety. He wasn't the same player.
It's going to be fun. It really will, and hopefully it keeps on going. And right now they posted something on Facebook, which is very interesting. This is the first time that all 3 New York teams are over 500 in a very long time. I think it was
There's only one New York team.
Oh, you're going to turn it to the Dawson Knox thing all over again? Dawson Knox quote tweeting the Twitter post that NFL on Fox.
No, but honestly, I know you're going to say New Jersey, but honestly, this is the first time that all 3 New York teams have over 500 in, I think they said 15 years or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy how long it's been. So it's a good sign. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for New York football. Maybe it becomes a dominant time where you could see good football for what are you smiling about? You're always smiling, Speedy. What's so funny? I don't understand it. It's pretty amazing, and all three teams have good coaches. So maybe coaches that'll be there for 10, 12 years.
Maybe Dawson Knox is going to start a rivalry with the Jets now after quote tweeting that.
Who?
Dawson Knox yesterday, because John said that right. They had a graphic that
from
came
Buffalo?
out. Yeah, he came out. He quote tweeted the NFL on Fox tweet and said, "There's only one New York team. One of these isn't like the others, or something like that." And then they actually fixed the graphic to have it be NFL New Jersey teams 5-1, the Jets 4-2, and Buffalo 5-1.
Yeah, great.
So he's sparking a little bit of a rivalry with the Jets now.
I wouldn't get the Jets pissed off. I'll tell you that right now, because they're going to go after him. So
well, Petey's just smiling because I say different things to get you fired up, and you don't.
I don't care. I'm one of the guys. If you know me on my show, I take shots at the Jets. I'm a Jet fan. I'm not going to sit here and say they still got a lot to prove. And the one thing that stands out to me, what I like about Zach Wilson is he's figuring things out now. He realizes that he doesn't have to throw 300 yards to win the games. Play the game, win the game. You don't need to do that. Show your worth. And when you need to make those throws and you need to throw 300 yards in a game, you'll have the opportunity to do so. You don't need to do that. Win the game. I know everybody keeps saying, well, we still don't know what Zach Wilson is. I think we know who he is now. We know that he's not the same Zach Wilson he was his first season, where he's not going to throw the ball in all different areas where he's going to get himself into trouble. Make the throws that you can make. And if you can't, throw it away and live it to see another day. That's where success starts to build. And that's what happened with Josh Allen. And when he trusted his players, everything started to click. I think it will when Garrett Wilson, he figures out what Garrett Wilson. And by the way, the one thing I couldn't stand watching that Green Bay Packer game is none of the wide receivers can get open. None of them. Alexander shut down Garrett Wilson. That's how good Alexander is when he's healthy. And even the other guys. Elijah Moore needs to shut his mouth. Oh, I'm not seeing any throws to me. Get open, you idiot. Actually get open, and the ball will go to you. I mean, you haven't been open in 3 weeks, even against defenses that are not 100% healthy. Please stop bitching. And Corey Davis, listen, the reason why I caught that ball is Zach put it in the perfect position for him to catch it. So, I mean, Elijah Moore should shut his mouth. He's really embarrassing himself because, dude, you were not open the whole game. You were not open the whole game. I swear, if I watch the game, you can watch it on the NFL.com. You can pay for it. You can watch every single play and zoom into the play and see everything. He was not open. Except, I think 2 plays he was open where, Zach would never be able to get the ball to him anyways where he was. There was no way he was going to catch the ball anymore. The guy can't run a route. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he has been horrible at the route running. Garrett Wilson's been running routes, and he's been open almost the whole game.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think Zach Wilson has a good rapport with him yet, and I think it's going to take another year. It's going to take this year to figure that out. I think as the season progressively moves, they'll build chemistry, and they'll figure things out together. But
all the pressure of the Wilson to Wilson reenacting.
Yeah, well, I also think if you're watching the games, you could see that Zach Wilson has grown up. You could see it. It's not. I wanted to. You watching Trevor Lawrence? He's making a lot of mistakes. He's throwing the ball, and even with the success of the Jaguars this year, and they've been successful. I mean, they're not winning, but they're successful. It's not because of Trevor Lawrence's just outstanding play. It's obviously they're running the ball with Robinson, and that the weakness of that team all year last year was their offensive line, which has actually played well. So, I mean, there are certain and their defense has played very well too. So, I mean, it's not Trevor Lawrence. If anything, Trevor Lawrence has been a bust.
Trevor Lawrence has looked rattled really since that Eagles second half.
He's been a bust because everybody was comparing, oh, this is his second year. He hasn't looked good. He really hasn't. For a guy that everybody says is the next Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Andrew Luck, honestly, he's so far the best quarterback in that class so far has been Jones, maybe. That's since last year. And this year, I know it's been early, but it's really, I guess, Davis Mills. I mean,
maybe.
I mean,
nobody's been great.
I mean, Zach Wilson is not making mistakes, so that's what you want to see. He's not throwing touchdowns where he has 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Right. And Lawrence was like that in the beginning of the season. He looked like he was efficient, then all of a sudden against the Eagles,
he's looked horrible.
It's been all downhill.
Oh, he's looked horrible. And honestly, for a guy that everybody kept saying that he's a sure thing, I don't know if he is. Okay, I don't know. I think Zach Wilson has the more upside than any quarterback in this class. He just needs to figure out these players that are around him, and when he does, and he realizes that I got a guy like Breece Hall, I've got a guy like Elijah Moore, I got a guy like Garrett Wilson, I got an offensive line that actually could protect me. Now I could step into the pocket and do what I want and trust that I could throw the ball down the field and they're going to catch it. So that's when I expect the Jets, where we're going to be saying, like, holy crap, this team's going to be good. So that's when I'll be happy as a Jet fan, happy as a pig in you-know-what. But until then, I'll be sitting here every single week wondering where's the mistake going to happen, which is going to cost them the game.
What will LaMarcus Joyner do wrong?
Yeah, so that's what scares me every single game. And when I told Speedy the final score of the Green Bay Packer game, he was like, are we talking about Green Bay 27, Jets 10? I was like, no, 27-10 Jets. And they whipped their asses, so I mean, even Aaron Rodgers was shocked to say what he said at the end of the game. This is the NFL. It can anything can happen on any given Sunday.
Yeah, you got bigger problems to deal with your own team.
Yeah, his team.
That team's a mess right now.
They've been a mess. But I think if anybody can figure it out, it's them. So
I mean, I guess if 2016 Packers could figure it out, they could, but still.
John, we really appreciate you, as always. And go Eagles for you. Hopefully go Jets. And maybe we have Jets-Eagles in the Super Bowl. That would be awesome. Not this year.
That would be amazing. I'd feel very confident about that game. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure you will.
Thanks a lot for the opportunity, guys, as always.
We love you, man. We'll get you on very, very soon. We'll get you on another panel where we can rip you on some of the other picks that you're going to have. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's fine. I
love
you. We can't all be 100%, man. Not in this business.
Well, speak for yourself. I can.
Don't worry. We had a co-host that used to be with this network that said he was 90% right all the time.
Oh,
and today he responded to one of my tweets. I was responding to somebody else's tweet that was saying, Daniel Jones is not better than Kyler Murray. I'm like, oh, yeah, we know that. But then he responds with Daniel Jones blows or something like that. Like, he still won't even give him credit.
Yeah, nobody will give that kid credit until he gets that team in the playoffs. They win a playoff game, and he's one of the reasons why they win.
But he claims he's 90% right.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. If anybody thinks that Daniel Jones isn't a good quarterback, his efficiency has been good. Now, he's not throwing 300 yards, but he outplayed Aaron Rodgers last week, and honestly, he outplayed Lamar Jackson in the last 2 quarters of that game. So say whatever you want about him. He found a way to help his team win, and that is a winner. Say what you want. He is 5-1, and everybody else is trying to catch them. So good luck, and that has something to do with no talent around him. He's not throwing anybody. Okay, there is nobody out there, and he's still finding a way to win. That's a good quarterback. Say what you want. So I think the Giants have something with him, and I think that at the end of this year, they will give him his 5th year, and then after next year, when Dable has a whole full off season to work with him, That is going to be a completely different Daniel Jones, especially the money that they have off where they can actually go after a wide receiver in the offseason. So watch out for the Giants next year. If they're playing as well as they are right now, in that, I was about to say it, crappy division, and there's only one team that really scares me in that division, that's the Eagles. Even next year, I don't know what the Cowboys are, honestly, and the Cowboys, they have CeeDee Lamb, and Ezekiel Elliott's going to be gone next year. He's not going to be there next year. They have Pollard. They have nothing, and their offensive line is old. That is an old, raggedy offensive line that needs to be rebuilt.
I think Pollard's a free agent too.
I mean, that's they're going to be rebuilt. I feel bad for Dak because he's going to be running for dear life after next year. Good luck to the Cowboys. It's going to be the Eagles and the Giants, and I'm not even a Giant fan. It really hurts me to say that. So it's Eagles Giants, that division, and this year it's going to be probably. I think all three teams are making the playoffs: the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles because of their schedules. It's so simple. I think the NFC East is going to have three teams coming out of that division. Who would have thought that? So it's crazy. Well, whatever. Anyways, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.